Namaste. Welcome to your practice. This is your 30-minute movement fix for those days where you really got to move, but you don't got a lot of time to do it. We'll start standing at the front of the mat. Take a moment or two to ground and center. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the air around your body. Notice that you're breathing. Notice what it feels like to be breathing in your body today. Set an intention for your practice if you like. Remembering that in addition to any work we're doing for ourselves, we can also make this practice an offering. We can ask that somehow this practice helps us to be of greater service in our lives, in the lives of those around us, and in the world. And one more breath in and out here. And the hands relax by the sides, and we'll start moving. Reach your arms overhead. And take your time to fold forward. Fingers to the shins, lift your chest, look forward. And then fold here. Soften at the hip crease, allow your head to drop toward the floor. Press your feet into the floor, rise up, stand up. And bring your hands through heart center. 2 more times like that. Reach tall. Hinge forward. Look forward. And fold. All the way back up. And hands through the heart. So not in a hurry. We're going to move, but we're not going to rush. Arms overhead. And fold forward. Lifting the chest. Follow that with your fold. All the way up, lift tall. Bring your hands to the heart. Okay, here we go. Arms lift overhead and fold forward. Now we're moving a little more. Fingers to the shins, look forward. And now step back to hands and knees and take 3 rounds of cat and cow. Allow your spine to begin to move. In preparation for more complex movements we'll be doing in just a little while. Remembering that we're not in a hurry. We're going to be thorough. We're going to feel like we've worked, but we're not going to feel like we had to do it in a hurry just because we only had 30 minutes. Step your right foot back behind you and lift your right leg only as high as the left hip. Right knee facing downward. If it works in your body today, stretch your left arm forward. Take 2 breaths. Hand down if it lifted, knee down. Second side, left foot back, left leg up. Right arm forward. Finding balance. Creating strength. Cultivating focus. Hand down, knee down, downward facing dog, or you can stay with cat and cow. You could find child's pose, or you could enjoy any other movement that feels good to you. We'll just take 3 breaths. One more breath here. Now from either hands and knees or downward facing dog, lift your right leg up. Step your right foot forward to the front of the mat. Take your time to get it where you want it. Left knee to the floor. Rise up, arms overhead, low lunge. Stay here or we'll bring some movement into it. Allow the hips to drop forward as the elbows bend into a cactus shape. We'll do 5 of these. Hips come up and back. Elbows come down and in. Last 2, you can move at a pace that feels reasonable for you. And then hands come to the heart. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. You can always bring blocks into play to help you with that, or hands to the thigh. Back toes tuck, knee up, and we find ourselves in high lunge. 2 breaths right here. Find your balance. You may need to walk your right foot to the right, and you can always stay with a low lunge if that makes more sense for your body today. Now bring your hands to the heart. Stabilize by pulling the belly in a little, and then lean forward a little bit here. We're starting to challenge the outer right hip. You might stay right here, or you might lean forward a little more and come up just to the big toe of the back foot. And if you feel like you really want to challenge yourself, lift your left leg into the air for warrior 3. You could also bring your fingertips to blocks or the floor. We'll take 2 full breaths right here. Land your foot back to the floor if it lifted, back into your high lunge shape. Reach your arms overhead. And then slide your hands through the center of your heart. Begin to turn to your right. Reach the arms wide into a twist. And then slowly back to center, arms overhead. Challenging the balance. Hands through the heart. Rotate to the right. Back to center, arms overhead. Hands through the heart. Rotate to the right. Back to center, arms overhead. Last 2 times, hands through the heart. Open the arms as you reach and look over the right shoulder. Last time, arms up, hands through the heart. Twisting to the right. Now we change, open to warrior 2. Take 3 full breaths here. Make any adjustments with your feet that you need to. Dancing warrior, drop your left arm down your back leg, stretch your right arm up. Right elbow or right hand to right knee, left arm up over the ear. Back and forth between these 2. Now the next time that your right elbow comes to your right knee, we'll pause. Bring your left hand to your left hip, straighten your right leg, and find your way into a triangle pose. Now your triangle might be with your hand on a block or on the leg or anywhere else that feels good. The left arm could reach toward the sky. Take 3 breaths here. If you like, you might stay there or reach forward. Lift the left leg into the air and come into half moon. The right fingertips rest on the block or the floor. And we'll take a few breaths. Whether you've stayed in triangle or you're exploring the challenge of half moon, find a place to look with your gaze that feels good for your neck. 1 more breath. And then everyone lands back in warrior 2. Now in warrior 2, we'll make a transition. Straighten your right leg, turn the right toes to face the long edge of the mat, bring the hands to the heart. Bend your left knee as you drop your hips straight back behind you into Skandasana, lateral lunge. Then up and open the arms, warrior 2. We'll go back and forth between those 2. Straighten the leg, turn the toes, slide the hands through the heart as you drop down. Up and open with the arms. 3 more times. Be sure that your knee feels good as you bend it. Remember that it's okay to stay higher if that's what's making sense in your body. And the next time that you bend into your left knee, pause. Use this as a transition. Pivot into a high lunge facing the back of your mat. Reach through the arms here. Find maybe a little back bend if it feels okay in your body as we take 3 full breaths. One more breath. And then land your right hand to the floor or a block. Stretch your left arm up to the sky. 2 breaths. Now, right knee comes down. Move your right foot to the right and step your left leg back behind you, side plank. If you prefer to have both legs straight rather than having your right knee bent, just take a moment and set that up for yourself. Otherwise, we stay here. Left hand down, left knee down. You could stay with cat and cow or come to plank. Take 2 breaths in plank. Firm up through the back of the hip, firm up through the belly, and then lower to the floor. You can put your knees down first or lower down. Cobra. Down dog or child's pose. Now we'll stay here for 2 breaths. I just took a block and put it at the other end of my mat, so I've got 1 at each end just in case. Now left foot forward, right knee down, low lunge, and then high lunge again. High lunge, slide the hands through the heart and just 1 time turn, look over the shoulder, and then open, warrior 2. Now in our warrior 2 shape, take a moment. We've already been through warrior 2. And then 1 time, exalted warrior. Drop your right arm down the back leg, stretch your left arm up. Cascade the left elbow down as you sweep your right arm up over the ear. Come back into your warrior 2. Now transition again, straighten your left leg. Bend into your right knee. We're in Skandasana, in that lateral lunge. And then right away this time, turn, high lunge back to the front of the mat, right where we started. If you need to take a moment or 2 to make sure that's stable, do that. And you can always do warrior 1 instead, or put your left knee down on the floor. In a moment, we'll be stepping forward to tree pose. Your left foot is going to find your right leg. It could be heel on ankle, or you could take your leg as high up. Your foot as high up your leg as you wanted. When you're ready, step forward. See what you find. Take a few breaths in your tree. One more breath. Left foot down, chair pose. So we're taking a little time with the poses, but incorporating plenty of movement. 1 more breath. Fold forward, right here. Fingers to your shins, lift your chest and look forward. And hands come down, step back. You could go for hands and knees, or once again, plank pose. Plank could always be with the knees down. Then all the way down to the floor. Cobra, hands reach back, lift your arms, lift your legs. 2 breaths. 1 more breath. Hands down, move back, down dog, or you can stay with your child's pose or hands and knees or whatever feels good to you.
So that's time now to make our way to the second side of the sequence. And for part of this, I'll have my back to you, but I think you're gonna be okay. We'll start with the left leg up and back. Now remember, you can do this in hands and knees too. And then step your left foot forward, right knee down, arms come overhead. We'll find that cactus shape as the hips come a little forward. Make sure that's not painful. Make sure that it feels right to you. 2, going for 5, 3, think about squeezing the shoulder blades together. 4, last one, 5. Now you may need blocks, or you may need a wall, or you may have hands on the thigh. Lift up, come to your high lunge. Stabilize that. You could stay with the knee down if you'd rather. Bring the hands to the heart and lean forward a little. Notice that the left hip would like to sort of stick out to the left. Pull it back under you and you'll notice how much harder it's working. Then come up onto the ball of the foot or the tiptoes of the back foot. Maybe we even lift the right foot into the air behind you. Think about pulling that left sitting bone back under you so that we're strengthening gluteus medius. This is a wonderful way to work on our outer hip strength. One more breath. It works with your foot on the floor too. It's not easy stuff. And then foot back down to the floor. Woo. Take a moment, recover as needed. And then we're into the twisting. Reach the arms overhead. And open, slide the hands through the heart. And open the arms, look over the left shoulder. Arms come up. Heart forward and then hands slide down, turn. Open the arms. Up. Slide, twist, up, slide, and twist. We'll do one more and then we come into that warrior 2. Up, slide, twist, open into your warrior 2 with your left foot forward this time. Take a moment or two, settle in. Rearrange your feet, make it feel stable and grounded for you. Right hand down, left arm up, exalted warrior. Side angle pose. You can go as low or stay as high as you want to. Keep going. You can lean back more when you lean back if it feels good. You could lean forward more. Another cycle or two of breath. And then straighten your front leg. Reach forward. Maybe your hand finds a block or the floor or your leg, and we come into triangle pose. Now maybe the hand wants to be on the hip, or you might reach the arm toward the ceiling. In a moment or two, when we make the transition to half moon, you might choose to bring your hand back to the hip. So the more we've got everything tucked in toward us, the fewer variables we have to contend with. So if you're going to play with half moon, you might do hand to hip, bend into your left knee, and then reach forward with your left hand. Try taking your right leg off of the floor. A few breaths right here. One of my favorite ways to do half moon is to practice with my back foot pressing into a wall. Even imagining it there helps me to feel more stable and connected. Let's all bend into your left knee, come back to your warrior 2 shape, and then into our lateral lunge. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes, bend your right knee, hands to the heart, Skandasana. Straighten your right leg, open the arms, turn your left toes, bend your left knee. Arms up, bend back, lateral lunge. Keep going. Remember, we're only going as far as we can control, so I'm not concerned with how low you go. I'm concerned with how well can you control the movement and how good does it feel. Next time that your right knee bends, use that as a pivot point. Come to face the other end of the mat, the back of the mat. Arms overhead, take a few breaths here. And then left knee comes down to the floor. Left hand comes to a block or the floor. Kick your left foot to the left, step your right leg back behind you, side plank, or your favorite variation of side plank. One more breath. Hand down, child's pose, down dog, or cat and cow. If you want to work a little bit more, we can do plank, floor, cobra, down dog. Three breaths. One more breath. And then step forward. It's always easier with the knees down, so you could do that first, or right leg up, right foot forward, left knee down. Then high lunge. Take your time. Hands to the heart and twist one time to the right. Open, warrior two. The right foot is right where it was. The right knee is bent. One time through exalted warrior. Left arm down the back leg, right arm up. Right elbow to right knee, left arm up over the ear. And then straighten as you come up, bend into your left knee, find Skandasana. And then come up as high as you need to control your trajectory as you move into high lunge, facing the front of the mat. Take a moment or two here, and this time let's reach the arms back behind us. We haven't done any work with the arms back there yet today. One more breath here. Hands to the heart. Step forward with your right foot and come into tree pose on the second side. Almost done. Good. Right foot down to the floor. One more time, chair pose. Now in chair, we can find a little twist. You can bring the hands to the heart if you want first, and then open the arms as you twist to your left. Or if it works in your body, you could take your elbow to the outside of the knee and bring the hands to prayer. Whatever way is going to work better for you. To me, it's okay if your right hip is further forward than your left. Don't make yourself crazy about that. Last two breaths. Back to chair. And then we'll fold forward before the second side. Take 3 breaths right here. Here we go, bend your knees. Hands to the heart. Open the arms for the twist, or if it works in your body today, elbow to the outside of the knee, hands to prayer, and turn the chest. One more breath. And fold forward again. Fingers to the shins, look forward, and then fold. Let's make our way back one last time. Come to hands and knees here. And let's all find child's pose, unless it doesn't feel good to you. If it doesn't feel good to you, or if you just want some different movement, then find different movement for yourself. That'd be great. Two more breaths. And then make your way to sit facing the long edge of your mat. Take the legs a little wide. Bend your right knee. Sole of the right foot comes in front of the left thigh. Lift the chest, look out over your left leg, and begin to walk your way out over the leg. You can use your right hand to hang on to the other leg if you want to, or you might just allow yourself to bow here. Lift yourself back up. Bend your left knee. Left foot meets the right, and the right leg extends. Although I didn't say it, I hope you know by now that if you need some support under a knee or under your hips, take a moment and give yourself a blanket or a block. Lift your chest and we'll walk out here. Take the time you need to. Two sides of the body could be so different. I can definitely feel that this side is needing a little more time to get in there. Last breath here. Almost done. Walk yourself back up. Bring your right foot to meet the left foot, and we're in Baddha Konasana, butterfly, bound ankle. You can have the hands on the feet as I do, or they can rest anywhere that feels good to you. Lift up through your chest. Think about broadening through the collarbones here. And then before we do any movement, folding forward, keep the chest tall. Turn and just look over your right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder blade drawing down. And then glide across the horizon to look over the other shoulder. With your right shoulder blade, draw down and away. Come back through to center and fold forward here. Doesn't matter how far you go, you might just be leaning forward, or you may even be all the way upright. That's okay. Last 2 breaths. Lift yourself back up. Turn again so that your legs are extending out along the length of your mat. Shake the legs out a little bit. Come to lie down on your back. Make sure you have plenty of room. Roll your head side to side and bend both knees. Let's press the feet into the floor and lift the hips for a mild bridge pose here. If it works in your body to interlace your hands beneath you, you could do that. If that doesn't work in your body, then instead grip the outer edges of the mat. Feel that your body is supported by your feet, by the arm bones, by the shoulders, and by the head, and by the muscles of your hips. We'll take 2 full breaths right here. And then take your time to roll all the way back down. Briefly cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Hug the right knee in toward you if that feels good, or you can just keep the right foot on the floor if that feels like that's getting where you want it to be. Last breath here. Right foot to the floor, left ankle uncrosses, and second side. Right ankle to the left thigh. If it works and it feels right to draw the knees in, give that a try, or stay as you are. Last 2 breaths. Let that go. Uncross the right ankle from the left thigh. Extend both legs along the mat. Make sure that there's nothing in your way. Nothing to impede your comfort, because we only got a moment to rest in Savasana. So make sure that you can extend the arms and the legs fully. And then just take 5 mindful, complete breaths in your body. We don't need to think about breathing more deeply. You're getting plenty of air. Focus instead on breathing through the nose and on the expansion of your belly and side waist and lower back as you breathe. When you feel ready, and start to move. If you have a little more time in your day, you might take another few moments here to rest, or you might move on to a little seated meditation. Otherwise, let's bring the knees in toward you. Rock a little bit side to side. Rock over to one side or another. And find yourself in a seat. One more moment just to acknowledge the power of your body, the power of this practice, how things can change in just 30 minutes. And to remember your intention. And then we're ready to move on with the rest of our day. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick practice. I hope it felt good, and I hope to see you again soon. Be well.